Well, good evening, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Wednesday evening. Welcome to Wastrel Wednesday, where tonight we are going to be playing some classic Traveler, courtesy of the one, the only, the Ayatollah of rock and rolla himself, Mr. Kyle Schuant. Not just a good friend, but also the co-host. So let's welcome Kyle. And Kyle, hello, how are you?
What's happening to the more blurry? I think I've been drinking. Look at this.
Well, it's just that soft romantic effect that we like to see.
Yeah, it's very daytime soap opera, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Sometimes if you bring it in close and then far away, it focuses. Oh, well. That's all right. We don't want to focus too closely on me anyway. It's all about the players.
It is all about the players. So I guess you've got some Traveler goodness for us tonight. So without further ado, we have some of our crew waiting in the wings. Let's see here. Let's do that. And to our audience, whether you're tuning in, you're coming in now, or you're watching a little later, welcome. Brodo says he loves the opening space opera sequence. That's all Kyle, by the way. That is all his work.
That's strictly editing. So the clips are from various sci-fi that I've seen over time, and that I feel kind of represent the mood, because obviously there's a clip from, you could have a clip from Star Trek and the original series, and you could have a clip from Star Trek, the new one. You could have a clip from Red Dwarf. You could have a clip from Doctor Who. You could have a clip from Outland or Alien or something, and it would all give a very different feel for what kind of game you were playing. So I chose clips that I felt encapsulated the game and also highlighted the characters that we have. As for the music, I got that from Epidemic Sound. They're a great little site where if you're just using it for personal use, you can just download a bunch of stuff for free. If you're using it to put on YouTube videos and so on, you can pay a fairly nominal fee of like $10 a month or something, and there won't be any interference with monetization or anything like that. So I've just put that there and attached it to Bill's YouTube account so he doesn't get flagged for copyright. And then the rest is an editing program called Wondershare Filmora, and you get little clips and you trim them or expand them or slow them down or speed them up as you need to. And it has a number of pre-generated title sequences and all the rest that you can put in. So it's a little bit of work to put it together. But once you put it together, then you could just alter it. So in the next session, if a new player comes along, I can just find a little clip that looks vaguely like their character and add them to it. Or if somebody drops out, I can remove them and so on. So yeah, it's a little bit of work, but that's GMing.
It is well done. Robert Phillips says there's a Gamma World movie trailer that was put together the way Kyle described. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can have a lot of fun. Now, it's not up on YouTube anywhere, and I think it's long gone, but ages and ages ago, I put together a very, very short clip, like 45 seconds, with various contemporary war movies, stills and clips from them for Twilight 2000, and sent that to players. I think I gave it to a couple of them on flash drives. I was like, here's a PDF of the Twilight 2000 rules, and there's a little movie you should watch to kind of add that little spice, that little atmosphere. I'll do something like that one day if we ever add Twilight 2000 to our Let's Play menu.
Yeah, so that I find that sort of stuff fun anyway. And then I chose the music. There was some. Music's always a tricky one. There was some more sort of atmospheric music, but I liked that one a bit because it has a tune that you can remember. And that's one thing I like about old sci-fi compared to modern sci-fi. You can hum along with the tune, or even like other stuff like Superman. We all know that. Now, the Man of Steel movie had fantastic music, but you can't hum it. So, I've had my kids when they were 2 or 4 years old, after they'd watched, or 4 years old, when they first watched the 1978 Superman, and they put on their little cape or just a pillowcase with a clothes peg holding it on, and they'll run around the couch doing that tune. You can't do that with the Man of Steel music. So,
No, you can't. I mean, I think when it comes to epic, sweeping science fiction movie music that you can't hum along to, I would have to also put Interstellar in that. I mean, Interstellar is up to a point, it's a fairly hard sci-fi movie and would almost fit the traveler mode. Almost gets a little 2001 towards the end. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And damn, it has good music. I saw it in IMAX the first time I saw it, and it was, I just got chills. Yep. You can't hum it. It's not catchy. I mean,
so that's what I go for. I would like the players to be walking down the street, thinking about the game afterwards, and humming the theme music to themselves. That's what I'd like.
Nice. So Damien asks the question, will our trepid adventurers ever make it to the next system? Will they achieve the big score? Will Bubba ever get a reclining chair? Well, I guess that's ultimately up to Bubba and what he decides to spend his pay on. All I ask as the captain is that it gets bolted to the deck wherever it's at. Don't want to get brained by a lazy boy when we're trying to evade a railgun shot.
And he needs a harness too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a 5 point running through his Sealy lazy boy that's been cold joint riveted to the deck. But as long as it's got that little caddy on the side for the remotes and a drink koozie on the arm, he's set.
Well, that's reminding me of I've never read it, but apparently there's a sci-fi story where somebody discovers that you can make a warp drive basically with stuff that you can get down at Dick Smith or Radio Shack for about $150. And all of a sudden you've got rednecks in space. You've got guys getting their minivans or their their RVs or something, and just basically duct taping it up to vacuum seal it. Going off on space journeys. Instead of taking the family to see the Grand Canyon this summer, you're going to go to Officer Torre. It'd be a very high rate of casualties, I think. But
yeah, wow.
You just got Hank with his propane in the back,
I'll tell you what.
All right, let's add the players one by one, and the players can tell us about their character.
Alrighty. Well, I'm already here, so I am kind of the de facto captain of this merry band of space-bound misfits, and that's all I'm going to say. So let's bring Sapphire on. Good evening.
Nice ceiling. Oh, there she is.
We can see you. You're muted, by the way, if you're talking.
Yeah, you saw just my ceiling and maybe the top of my head. I don't know. My character is Jana Hassan. She is a scout who's 34 years old. She served a couple of tours. She seems to be the mechanic of the group, so she maintains the equipment as best she can. So we're keeping it live. I've got my girl power partner in crime going to be on soon, so we'll have fun.
Alrighty, and TK, who is not Sir Outlier.
I'm keeping it.
You're keeping it. That's fine.
I'm playing Linda, basically the rocket raccoon, big weapons merchantman of the group.
Rocket Raccoon, is that a reference to good old Cinnabon?
No. Nice try, though. Want to guess again?
No idea.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it.
Groot. Buds with Groot.
Well, because the world of Cinnabar, one of the photographed characters is a raccoon with an RPG or bazooka on his shoulder.
Next up, we have the one, the only Tonka Todd as Bubba. Todd, welcome back.
Thank you. And Bubba served three tours in the Marine Corps, made lieutenant, and then they told him, we don't want you no more. And so he decided to be the brains of this operation. So here I am.
And everybody say hello to Tammy. Hello, Tammy. Well, hello, Tammy.
Hello, everyone. I thought you were going to start singing that Tammy song.
No.
I actually got named after all those Tammy movies.
Well, all right.
Movies are those? Is this some American cultural reference I'm not getting?
Like Tammy and the Bachelor?
Yeah. With
That is so cool.
Debbie Reynolds, and the other one was done by Sandra Dee. My father loved it.
All right.
Tammy
So,
and the Bachelor is a great movie.
what is Tammy the Traveler character all about?
Tammy the Traveler character. I'm really liking that girl power thing with I'm really liking that, and I'm hoping that we can do some more girl power tonight.
For sure.
And last and absolutely not least, we welcome Razor.
Hey!
Gotcha.
Quida, also a female character. 2 tours in the Marines. Got out. She's your quintessential gun bunny. If you have watched the Aliens movie, think Vasquez.
Well, yeah. The only skills she's got is a vac suit, which also doubles as the battle mech suit if you got one, and gun combat. That's it.
Let's see.
Let's rock.
When we get we get battle dress.
Yeah.
I like to be optimistic.
To be fair, I don't even have vac suits, so
Right now, I'll settle for a flak jacket. Bare skin don't work too well when you get shot at.
Bubba's just been in sick bay flipping through catalogs that sell recliners, because that's been tickled my fancy now.
Sears 2556 catalog.
Yes.
Well, speaking of brutal combat, last night I played Escape from Tarkov for the first time. That's savage.
Yeah.
I found a buddy who'd played it before, and so he loaded it all up again, ready to go. We went exploring down the docks and went, oh yeah, in that YouTube video about it, this is where people were shooting at you, so you wouldn't go through the gates. Good thing we don't have that. And then there was this boom. The character was dead. And it's like, what the hell happened? So he's crawling over to me to try to repair wounds or something. And then he goes boom as well, and his arm and leg get blown off. It was a minefield. So instead of having 30 cal machine guns on the game,
you weren't being shot at. The game was working as advertised. You were not being shot at.
Well, and then so we went back and had another go, and then a player sniped me and blew me away. So the first one I lasted 5 minutes, and the second one I lasted 11 minutes.
Goodness gracious.
So if you guys think that the Traveller combat system is savage, no, it's not, nothing compared to that one.
Traveller combat system is not that tough. There are worse ones. By a long shot.
I agree. I know because I wrote one. So, but
we'll get to that maybe at the first of the year.
It's not that savage because you, for those watching who haven't played Classic Travel, you have your 3 physical stats: strength, dexterity, and endurance. And as you get injured, you take damage to those stats. And they'll be rated from 2 to 12 in most cases. So you've got like 7 points, and then something like punching someone does 1 point of damage, and a rifle might do 1d6 of damage, and a rifle might do 3d6 of damage, and so on. So if one drops to 0, you're now unconscious, and you wake up 10 minutes later, halfway between 0 and your old state. If 2 get to 0, you're severely wounded, and you actually need to get treatment. And as 3 get to 0, you're dead. But given average stats, 21 points of damage, a single rifle shot can severely wound you, but it can't kill you. If you're already a bit beaten up, then yeah. So it's not that bad, because usually what will happen is you'll get knocked unconscious before you can keep going long enough to get yourself killed. Which in other game systems, players tend to keep going long enough to get themselves killed. I started with 50 hit points. I've still got 3 left. Hey, when I first played as a first level character, I had 3 hit points and I was fine. Keep fighting.
Remember, kids, a sucking chest wound is how Mother Nature says, slow down.
Just slap a Band-Aid on it and keep going.
Yeah, so
Band-Aid, heck, duct tape.
The system to a degree protects players from themselves. Yes.
So with the damage, how would you do damage to multiple stats? Like, I got shot, and that tanked my endurance, I believe, right? Yeah. So where would the damage to a second stat come from? Would it just be the extra damage?
It flows on. So it depends which edition of the game you look at, but in the original game, it wasn't specified. So it was usually taken as it'll be a random one of the 3 stats that it goes on to. And then any other damage will flow on to another stat. That's how it was usually taken.
Word.
Later editions of the game sometimes said endurance goes first, and it will be reduced to 0. Any extra damage will be lost. And then some of them said that each die of damage would be assigned to a particular stat. So if I roll 3 dice of damage and get 4, 3, 2, then it'll be 4 off strength, 3 off dex, 2 off endurance, or something like that. So there's all sorts of funky ways that people can do it. I say just let it be random. It's because otherwise it gets too much gaming, and it sort of takes. I find it, it kind of takes you out of the game a bit. I'm not fond of systems that do that. I've even written systems that do that. Like I had one which I called risk dice, where you had a certain target number, and you could roll more dice if you chose to. You could roll 1d6 and get a certain success. You could roll up to 5d6, I think it was, and it would be much less likely, of course, to roll under that target number of 10 or whatever it was. But then you got better success. And so it would be, I assign this many dice to how well I do, and this many dice to how quickly I do it. So if you were willing to take forever to do something and do it sloppily, you could always do it. But if you were willing to take risks, and what tended to happen was that players would sit there. You get two types of players. You get the players who sit there humming and hawing over, like, oh, how many dice should I use this time? How important is it? And while they were deciding, like by the time they decided, nobody cared anymore. And then the other type of players who go, yeah, I just do 5d6 every time. So it was kind of like poker or something. It was fun, but it was abstract. So yeah, so I'm in favor of just let it be random, and then that keeps the game moving. And you go, oh shit, Bubba's down again, or whatever, you go from there. But yeah, that's the system as it is. Is that how you read it, Gary? What's Mongoose Traveler's take on it?
Oh, pretty much the same. The very first time you get hit, all the damage comes off of a single stat, and of course any excess damage carries over. After that, a second hit, you can divide among the stats however you wish.
Right.
But it's the first three stats only.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mongoose went pretty much back to classic for a lot of its stuff. Just added a few extra details.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my reading of it too, but I haven't looked at the Mongoose Traveler book for some time. So, and it all gets mixed together because, as I've said many times before, Traveler is the town bike of role-playing game systems. Everyone's had a go. Everyone's had a ride. And somehow we got through up to 5th edition without going through 3rd or 4th. Oh, well, hang on, no, there was a 4th, wasn't there? Yeah, I remember distinctly the 4th edition with the pages all falling out within 2 weeks of getting the book.
Well, Mega Traveler would have been your second.
Yeah.
New Era would have been your third.
Yep.
And then 4th edition. Then when Steve Miller got it back, went to 5th edition, and now Mongoose, which technically I guess would be a 6th or 7th, since they've come out with 2 different editions. Not counting the fact that D20 created their own edition.
Yes, and GURPS.
And GURPS, yes.
And Hero.
Uh-huh. So...
I want to take a quick minute. One of our buddies is a longtime viewer, Luther Pendragon, has been getting an RPG group going for some kids and saying the Lion and Dragon Society. 54 students without being advertised.
Wow.
I just left helping them, half of whom have never played, make their character sheets. That is awesome, Luther. Congratulations. And I know you're teaching them 1st edition AD&D, but just like it should be. That is fantastic, my friend. Congratulations.
Excellent. Good to see gaming grow.
That's completely awesome.
It really is.
Yep. The more players, the more we love it.
You know it. You know it. Salute. And greetings, BGC. I see you out there too, my friend. So I often have to wear 2 hats, not just as player or game master, but give the shout outs. Give the shout outs. That's really cool. I'm going to leave that up there. You're going to be covered up a little bit there, Razor. Just live with it, man. All right. So, group, crew, friends of mine.
Yeah, I'm just adding to the stream the subsector map. Now, I couldn't remember where you guys had gone, but Bill said it was to Le Guin.
Yes, we've gone to Le Guin, which is not as it's like one step down from Asimov on the tech level. I think you said.
Yeah. But then remembering, I think it might have been supposed to be Libra. Because Libra's got the better. Yeah, see, so you see the letters there, E, D, B, and so on. It's got.
You know what? You're right. We did go to Libra. We did not go to Le Guin. So if you're watching this in the future, the description is incorrect. We went to Libra. But you think I would remember that? He's one of my favorite fantasy authors. So we jumped without any issues. We're in system, and it's what a couple of days from entry point to planetfall.
Yeah, I've just got to go and.
I know we opted for that because of certain factors like technology, recognition, all kinds of things. So we decided it was the best starting point.
Yeah.
Well, if we're a couple of days from the planet, Bubba's going to take this time to take inventory of weapons on board, and try to suss out our ability to defend the ship if possible.
Well, we got a couple of stun sticks. I believe a spare emergency suit, not like vac suits, just like spare like tracksuit kind of thing. Some rations. I give you a frying pan to beat somebody over the head with. But other than that, we've got our small arms and jack and or shit.
And whatever we brought with us.
Yeah.
So a Jeep.
Could we get the stats for Libra, please?
Yes.
They're right there on the screen, aren't they?
I'm also going to make sure that all the mechanicals in that are maintained and updated as much as I can, and get everything lubed and such, so it's all up to speed.
Right on.
We don't need a Han Solo falling out of warp type thing.
No. I will go to TK's character and ask you, while we are making planetfall, can you check and see if there's anything that we're going to need to replace, or some common replacement parts that would be good to have on the ship that we don't have in the machine shop for the stuff that's in your wheelhouse, electrical systems and electronics and whatnot.
I know that and I presume my character would know that, but I do know that we're going to want to include in our list of repairs the loading arm, because I believe that was damaged when we used it as a prop.
Okay.
But other than that, DM, basic inventory, etc. Can when we land, can I get a figure for maintenance cost or whatever?
Yeah, the basic figure for maintenance cost is you need to do what would normally be an annual overhaul, and that's going to be a couple of $100,000.
Well,
because this has been decades.
Yeah. There we go.
Lying badlands.
The answer,
like Bill said, if you go and you find this car that's been lying out in the middle of the Nevada desert for 30 years, what would you have to do to get it running smoothly?
Yeah,
a lot.
Yep. So the answer as to what needs to be replaced and everything else for you is pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like my character would gesture and be like, everything. Yeah.
Well, basically, the difficulty is just not knowing exactly what. You have to pull it apart and inspect each piece. Because until you push the thing to the limits, you don't know where the weak points are. So you have to pull it apart and look at each piece, and then you find out. So like I said, during the takeoff. So you guys had taken off from Gibson, and during that takeoff already there were pipes bursting and that sort of thing. Nothing vital, but pipe bursting and that. And so in that week, moving out to your jump point, you had already spent a lot of time patching things up. And that's just that's why you've got the workshops on the craft, on the spacecraft, so that you can do that kind of routine maintenance. But at the moment, when you go to do a takeoff or a jump, you've got a -2 to it because things are a bit shaky. Something could go wrong.
So it sounds like we need to land, sell some of our cargo, and then turn this over to a shipyard.
That was the plan.
Good plan.
All right.
Okay. So you've jumped into the Libra system. The Libra system is a 2-star system. The primary is similar to our own sun, but it's about a third of the solar mass. It's a bluish cold one. The closest orbit is a small gas giant. Then there's a rock planet, a rock ice planet, and then there's Libra, the actual world itself that you're going to. Then there's an asteroid belt, another ice one, and then far out there's Libra Bravo, which is a small star. It's only just a star, and it's orbiting far out. It's just enough to disrupt the orbits of the planets that you're in, so that you get weird things like the gas giant being close into the primary. You look through your telescopes and so on to check out the world, and you look at the records that you have. So you see that this planet has a long day, 1,561 hours. So basically a quarter of a year day. It only has 0.18 G. It only has 0.2 bars of atmosphere, so it only has 1/5 normal atmospheric pressure. Anyone with endurance of less than 10 needs a respirator, otherwise you'll just be keeling over. You have basically altitude sickness.
I need a respirator to leave.
Respirator.
Yeah, I think almost all of us here do.
Yeah.
Ditto on that one.
See, Captain, this is why I said we need a recliner on the ship.
The hell is that? You know what? Never mind.
Gary's character's fine. Kinder's fine because she's got 11 insurance.
Laugh it up. Just not too vigorously or you'll drop over.
And Sapphire's character is not far off. She's got 9 endurance. So, and Tammy's character too. Tammy's character Jane is 9. So not too far.
All right. So regarding our passenger, as it were, while we're on our way in, I'm gonna.
Do we still have a passenger?
Yeah, she's still with us.
Yeah, Jacal, yeah.
Yeah. So over dinner one night, basically, as we're kind of going down the, going down the laundry list of stuff, I'll say, well, last item of business on the agenda. Is this where you get off, Doc, or what's your story?
She says, this isn't my sort of place to get off on. This is they've got quite a high law level here, she says.
That could be taken on so many levels.
This is it's a bit restrictive for my personality. I'm more sort of libertarian in nature.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of paperwork and rules and regulations and so on.
Right on. So you'll be shipping with us till at least the next I don't know, E-class we zip to Bryn or someplace like that.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, you bored? You looking for something to do, or are you going to sit in your cabin and read books while we're hauling. I guess what I'm asking is, other than anthropological studies and creating potential legal entanglements, is there anything applicable to the operation of a starship that you're capable of?
I used to be an engineer, she said.
Well, guess what? You're one again. Congratulations.
Very good. Very good. Where's my pen?
Now, since you're a member of this crew, and you will be until such time as you touch grass and don't come back, I think something else we need to discuss. Well, before I step forward, does that also encompass everyone else? We're all one big happy ship's crew here. I mean, anybody? Yeah. All right, that's fine.
Everybody pulls their weight.
I pulled triggers real well.
As long as you don't lie to me again, I will not shoot you in your sleep.
Well, that's comforting. Thank you. So we need to talk about profit shares, because I don't plan on flying around until we're all having to rattle tin cups in front of the old spaceman's home. As far as I'm concerned, as of right now, we're all full share partners in on this venture. I mean, the ship doesn't belong to any of us, but at the same time, it does belong to all of us. With that said, I am the CMFIC. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Well, it looks unanimous. So,
Captain, those letters don't spell nothing.
It's okay, Bubba.
I know it as HMFIC, but yeah, I understand what you meant.
Okay.
Majesty. I think we've kind of changed that recently.
So, to that end, as I intimated with the whole regarding the little computer that we don't like to talk about, my word is law. Okay.
We melted that thing. Come on.
Yeah, like I said, my word is law. But at the same time, you know, I'm not infallible. I'm not going to point this thing at a local star and fire up the main drive. But if I happen to do that, you're more than welcome to bring it up in a polite discussion. The point of what I'm saying is that as command structure goes, I'll pin my my captain's oak leaf clusters back on. I think they're rattling around in my ditty bag somewhere.
The Commodore ones.
The Commodore ones, yeah.
No, you were a commander, lieutenant commander, I think it was.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so assuming there's no opposition to that,
I do have one minor statement. Okay. I have no objections to giving way to experience and skill and training. I consider things more along the lines of the pirate style, as the captain was basically the first equal of everybody, as opposed to, he didn't say, you know, just come out around and say, okay, jump overboard, and people start jumping overboard.
First among equals is what you're looking for.
Yeah, thank you. First among equals.
I don't think I've said anything that's too far out of whack with that, so that's fine with me.
Okay.
So, fellow equals, when we make Planetfall, we're going to follow an ancient Terran rule. We've got 24 hours to celebrate our victory, then it's back to work for the next gig. And as far as I'm concerned, getting this thing into space and not winding up as a strip of frozen gas and molten aluminum scattered someplace between here and the next star over is a victory. So we'll take a little bit from the common fund and kick our heels up. But then it's back to work. And no, not a day later. I know how long a day lasts on this planet. I'm talking about 24 hours. So don't even try that with me.
Okay, so you guys are at about the orbit of the ice planet. So it's going to be a who's navigating? Who's a navigator?
I think I've got navigation, don't I? Yes, I have navigation.
Tammy.
Yeah, I think Tammy's got higher.
Yes,
Well,
I
you
have
might-
navigation.
What we might do is I will write it down in my little spreadsheet here. Okay, so we've got captain, pilot, navigator. Also need engineer, electrician, mechanic, medic, payload, and then payload. Okay, so the captain is Reggie. That's Bill's character. Ruby Willie. And his stats are A, 8, 6, 9, F, 6. That's a ridiculous education.
Good Lord.
And he has admin. What is this? Oh, that's right. Just normal.
Yeah, I figured out once I got into OCS when I was in the nav that if I couldn't do it, I could crack a book and read about it and at least talk enough about it to make it sound like I could do it and still get the same effect.
Jared and the Pretender, huh?
Yeah.
So admin.
Bubba got in trouble for eating the books and officers.
he did.
Ship's boat. That. And that. All right, so he's the captain. Now the pilot is our man
That's
Benjo.
Banjo, right?
That's right, Benjo.
I had to sit general courts martial for Bubba when he was caught coloring in a copy of an antique copy of Captain's Courageous in the Navy Library.
Well, I was staying within the lines. I don't know why they got mad.
I blame the system, Bubba. I blame the system, not you.
Okay, so who's the navigator?
I can
That
be
was-
the navigator.
That's Jane.
Jane. Okay, so Jane Arquette. And her stats are, correct me if I'm getting the stats wrong, this is just from my own notes. 879er, Alpha Delta 7. All right. And she had Ned, Vac, Blick 2. And okay. So the engineer will be Jakel. I'll get your stats later. So who's the electrician? Or is Jane doubling up as the electrician?
I think, because doesn't she have electric too?
Yeah.
Yes,
does
I
have
have
electrical,
electric
yes.
too. And I also have gun combat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
that'd
her. That's small arms fighting.
Yeah, but so the if you send me your email later or just in private chat now, I can send you the PDF of the thing, and basically you'll see that there's three. There's a flight deck, there's an engineering deck, and a quarter deck, and each has got 3 seats. So there's essentially 9 roles that can be.
I've already sent her a copy of the ship.
Yeah. So you see, there's officially there's 9 roles. You can fly it with as few as 3 if you really have to, but yeah, officially there's 9 roles. So and that's if there's the captain going, "I am the law," Sly Stallone style. Then people need to
look.
Okay, well, who's the mechanic then?
I believe
So
that
that
would
would
be
be-
me, Jana.
Yeah. And so where are we? So she's mech 2, med, vac, and aircraft. Oh, got to give her her stats. Stats, which are 7, alpha, 9, 8, 5, 6. All right. Now, the payload officers, they're the ones who've got gunnery.
Yep.
So we've got Linda Zhao.
Yep.
And she's 6, 8, 8, 8, 7, 9. Sorry for the viewers who are expecting
sounds
adventure
right.
and getting some paperwork instead, but it's less than many games. She has a lek, gunnery, and blade.
Hold the phone. I have blade.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down while you were playing.
Okay, I'll take it. I did not write down blade.
I don't know. Well, the tone that you've adopted so far certainly fits with her carrying a blade, because threatening to stab people kind of.
Well,
fits with
I
her
kind of have
being
been threatening to shoot people, so I'm hoping to get a gun skill eventually.
Yeah, but I mean, you specifically threaten to shoot people in their sleep. You don't need terribly much skill for that.
No.
And who's the other gunnery person going to be? Because we had somebody else said.
I have gunnery. Am I already down as gunner?
No, you're down as captain.
Okay. Well, I can gun as necessary.
I don't
Gunnery.
I don't have the skill, but I can sit in the seat and pull triggers.
I mean,
Yeah.
do I have to be down below to during? I don't think I need to be managing cargo during combat. Can I double up as gunny?
No. Yeah. During combat, yeah, you can technically do that. Yeah. So those are the roles. So we've got one. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of you assigned to roles. So who isn't assigned to a role? Gary's
Quida.
character, Kinder, with a vac suit and gun combat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I guess I'm supernumerary.
Yeah, we'll just put her down in payload.
Okay.
Because she's got to sit somewhere. But you had a whole stack of skills that I didn't note down.
8, 7, 8.
You kept rolling for skills, but I didn't get them all.
I have vac suit, gun combat, blade, brawling, and cutlass. So I have a total of 4 skills, or 5. 2, 3, 4, yeah.
Yeah, she's a killer.
The second, okay, I see. No problem. The 8 and the B kind of blend together, so I wasn't sure which was which.
Yeah.
But I understand.
Okay, and we don't have Todd anywhere. We probably need a security section.
Bubba's more of a ship mascot than anything else.
If you want security, that's where I should be. Yeah.
No. You're a vital component of this well-oiled spacefaring machine, and I will not hear anything different. No, but seriously, what can you
He's
do?
a social relations.
He
He gets to be Deanna Troy for our crew.
I can
I
drive
don't
an
like that, and don't say that again.
I can drive an ATV. I can fight, and I'm really, really good at cutting people.
You are the load master. You are the ship's load master.
Deanna Troy was awesome. It's like, I will kill you all. I am sensing anger.
Please don't hurt us. I think they're afraid, Captain.
But as a young man, I appreciated it. So, not for her.
Think we all did.
But not for her intellect. All right. So the crew is more or less assigned to where they should be. Work on it as time goes on. What's Todd's character? Oh yeah, Doug Libra.
Yeah, Bubba. Yeah.
Now,
he's
are
basically
you guys going to keep the same transponder name, the Hindline, the ship that's been missing for 30 years?
No.
The ship that was carrying infamous criminals.
Well, couldn't
Condemned to
Manzo whoop up some paperwork that says we were hired to salvage this thing and that we could keep it as payment?
I'd think if we were hired to salvage this thing, we wouldn't be keeping the contents, let's say.
Yeah, because I would just say we just flat out, we found it, we salvaged it, there was nobody on board. Therefore, it's free salvage.
Yeah. I don't think we should keep it.
Abandoned property, eminent domain. I believe that's the term.
Well, I mean, why don't we call it the eminent domain then? I like it.
Oh dear, found goods.
I like it, the eminent domain.
All right. The eminent domain.
Bubba will just call it the id.
Id.
Better than ED.
Hey, if we're ever in a hurry, we can just scream, "Get back to Ed." We'll find Ed, and everybody will look at us like, "What are you talking about?"
Okay, so the electronics expert, you'll need to make a roll to do this. Now, you to remove the current name is not a problem. It's just replacing it with a better one. So if you fail the roll, it's just going to end up blank. And if you succeed, it'll end up where you are. And you'll know if you succeed or fail. But your character will be aware this is a federal crime to change a transponder. This is a federal crime.
Let's not get into federal crimes just yet.
Yeah, we should let the dockyard do it.
Well, you're
There's
going
a
to the
whole
dockyard in a
ceremony for
hive.
renaming boats. So, hey, all for it.
going-
We'll get the bottle of wine if we need it.
You're going to the dockyard in a high law level world, apparently. So,
Well, we're selling goods. I'm sure we'll be able to grease some palms as needed.
okay, so you're keeping the Heinlein for now?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's a wise idea.
Okay, so you start burning towards the Libra. Give us to planet Libra. Give us a piloting check. As I said, you will get there. It's just a matter of how quickly and smoothly you do so.
I got a 9.
9. Yep. That's. Sorry, that should be navigation, but it doesn't matter. Because who's the navigator? Okay.
Tammy?
I will be the navigator.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kyle. That's an 8. That's an 8. I won't use that fated die anymore. That was an 8.
So Jane, do your navigation.
Okay. Getting out the Comic-Con dice.
Getting fancy with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, ooh la la.
That's a 9.
Okay, good. So you plot a sensible course. You'll you use a gravitational assist from one of the other planets on the way.
Much better than the reckless ones.
And and you make your way there, and Bill does the piloting roll for our guy. Okay, when you're in the midst of the gravitational assist, you start being close enough that you can get some of the radio signals from the planet.
There's music.
And the planet you discover is under military occupation.
I think we should move on.
Foreign military or domestic military?
Okay, so it's another planet. So the nearby world of Haldeman, the Joseph Consensus, as they call themselves over in Haldeman. They have seized Haldeman, and they've occupied Libra. And that's why they've got a high law level at the moment.
Okay. Well, Mr. Game, do you guys really want to land in the middle of a
Yeah, I think we should kind of keep going.
Yeah, I think we need to leave the Russian airport.
My only question is will the ship take it?
Mm,
Yeah,
Because that was our gamble.
yeah, guys, we may not have any alternative.
Well, let me look at what our water levels are and all that kind of thing to see how much more fuel we have to plot if we could continue on to the next system.
well, we don't have any more jump fuel. We would have to go. Okay, do you have frontier refueling here? As in skim the gas giant, get more fuel, and go away?
Yeah, but you don't have skimming gear.
Okay, so we have to land.
We have to land on something. You need water. You
Yeah.
can electrolyze water to get oxygen. So you have to land on something.
Is there an asteroid or maybe a moon or something that might have water nearby?
Yeah. So in the outer orbit, okay, so what's happened is you've come in the outer orbit, you've come out in the equivalent of being at, Neptune or something. And then you zoomed past and you're now at the equivalent at being at Jupiter, and you're going to the equivalent of Mars, right? I mean, they're not all gas giants and that, but yeah, I'm just thinking of position. So you come there. Now there's ice planets back, so you could just, instead of doing the gravitational assist to go then further into the system, you could change the gravitational assist to go, actually we're going out. We're going back out. You do a big parabola. Whoop.
And hope they don't have any of their own starships or SDBs standing by to say, oh, this guy is going away. Let's go get him. I mean, they had to get the troops here somehow.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Don't worry, crew. If things get hairy, I'll just sing them a song.
I think we'd prefer them.
Something Vogons wrote about it in their verse. Something.
Yeah.
Baby shark.
I implore thee, thy founting turling drones.
Oh, please, no more baby shark. I had that all last weekend.
We'll just hum and clench. How's that sound?
It's a small world after all.
I shoot him.
I will throw you out an airlock.
Wait till you hear Todd singing. Okay, now if you were to do that maneuver, that's a difficult maneuver because you're changing halfway through. But now being at Libra, where would you jump to?
Could we use the gravitational around the planet and just slingshot? Kind of like the sun move?
Yeah, you can. Because like I said, you're already using a gravitational assist at a planet away from your destination. But it's at this point where you're about to do the gravitational assist that you got close enough that you're hearing signals from the planet that you figured out what's going on, right? So it's not just one signal, this is under military interdiction, do not come in. It's multiple signals, and you hear from the locals on their radio going, oh, praise the new overlords, I guess. So it's multiple signals. There doesn't seem to be much fighting still going on. The occupation's been going on for a little while. They've pretty much crushed most of the guerrilla movement, as far as you can tell. So it would be ordered. You wouldn't be going and being shot, but everything would be searched. The ship would be pulled apart. You would be searched. They'd be asking lots of awkward questions and so on. But they wouldn't necessarily care about federal affairs. You would just change that gravitational assist that was going to take you closer to Libra to a gravitational assist that takes you out of the system so that you can then do your jump. If you were to do a jump, where would you go to? Because Haldeman is what you don't want to be involved with them. Gibson is where you just came from. Then there's Le Guin and Lem. So where would you go to? Because you might be going out of the frying pan into the fire, so to speak.
Yeah, is Lem part of the Haldeman group normally?
As far as you know, only Haldeman is part of the Haldeman group in the past.
Oh, okay.
You don't know anything about...
Do we have any background at all, pulling up computer records or anything else like that on Le Guin or Len?
Okay, so Le Guin is a small icy planet. It does have breathable atmosphere, a small icy planet. It's only got several thousand people. It is only partially democratic. It's got a relatively low law level and relatively high tech level, but it's only got a Class D starport. As for Lem, you don't have any information on Lem except that its stats, which I shall post in the chat. It'll come up as Bill's post, but anyway.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see stuff that obviously I didn't post or clip or something. That Kyle and I both have control of the broadcast room, so anything that comes from the Dungeon Delver is either he or myself.
Sorry, correct. Sorry for the confusion, but the first 4 numbers will actually be the
location.
The, hex location. Yeah. So I'll remove them and I'll put that back again. Okay, so it's got a Class B starport. It's about an Earth-sized planet. It's got a fairly dense atmosphere. There's no law, no government.
It looks like a small population.
Yeah.
That's only like in the hundreds,
Hmm.
isn't it? Or is that tens?
As I said, that's all the only data you've got.
Right.
The issue we're facing here, guys, is not how hospitable a given planet or the next is. I don't like the fact that we've jumped into a military occupation zone any more than anybody else does. But my previous statement about us tearing the ship apart and winding up as a wisp of frozen oxygen vapor floating around in deep space until the heat death of the universe still stands.
Right.
This ship has problems.
Yes.
Now, the upshot of a military occupied city is we're probably not going to get robbed at gunpoint because there's
Except by the military.
Except by the military. I don't deny they may rob us at gunpoint.
Right.
But in the overall, we gotta, we gotta weigh things here.
My recommendation is we have more information on Le Guin, though the technology isn't quite as good as Len, but it seems they're more open to what we're probably going to be looking at doing, because we're going to be selling off cargo and such to pay for the renovations and updates. So
the biggest problem is going to be at the D starport does not have the facilities we need to work on our ship.
Yeah, they can't do an overhaul.
Yeah.
But on the bright side, I bet you can get snow cones there really cheap.
Yeah, but
I just want everybody chuckling right now to remember this man was part of the thin green line that defended the Empire for how long were you in, Bubba?
3 years for they
3 years. 3 years he stood.
Just like 12 years.
So
3 terms.
Question. Sturgis, that's the next jump. Can't really see a lot of information on that because it's kind of off the map. Is that a B or higher as far as their starbase facilities?
Just a sec. No. Let's have a look.
No. I'm kind of thinking we're going to have to go on to Libra. This ship is falling apart.
Yeah, we might have to bite the bullet because we're here and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like.
Yep.
I mean, if it was just recently taken over, that it kind of sounds like from the radio traffic and that, we might be able to slip in and out before they even realize we're there. At least that's the hope.
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know, but we can try.
A girl can dream, right?
Yeah. Just like come on, it'll be in and out in a couple hours, just like New Wisconsin.
Flash some leg, huh? Is that what it is?
Yes, but I got the shit kicked out of me on New Wisconsin. All right.
No dissing the cheese and tipping the cows.
Well, we might want to call in and say, "Hey, this is us. This is what we need. Can we come in?"
Benjo says we've got about 5 more minutes to make the decision. Otherwise, we're committed to this gravitational assist taking us to Libra. He says because we're just not going to have enough juice to.
It sounds like we're stuck in Libra.
Because you're the equivalent of the Apollo 13 guys.
Yeah.
They couldn't turn around and come back. They just had to keep going.
We've got to sit down. This thing could tear itself apart on the next jump, and I ain't dying up here.
Okay, let's all strap in and get ready to rock.
All right. Let's get the landing cycle started. Everybody remember where we parked.
All right. So you strap in for the gravitational assist. That's just going to be a couple of G's of acceleration, because you go in next to the planet, and as you start accelerating, you kick in with the extra acceleration yourself to get some good delta V going, some good speed going. And you're committed. All right. So navigator, do a final check of it.
Okay.
Final check of your numbers.
That would be a 5.
5. Okay. All right. So you pull around this. All right. And then the pilot. Bill, can you roll for the pilot, please?
Of course. That is a 7.
Okay. So you go along. All right. And it's got a -2 because of the condition of the ship as well. So you're going along, you're doing the gravitational assist, and the ship is really creaking. It's really, really creaking. So
I'm monitoring instruments and such to see if there's anything that I can adjust or that to help it along, just enough to limp us in.
Yeah. It's really creaking. Now, your strains.
Does not sound good.
And some of those pipes start popping, and steam comes out. The temperature on the reactor starts rising as it's pumping lots of energy through it. There we go. All right. All right. Crew of the eminent domain. Now, okay, so mechanic Jana Hessen.
Yes.
You want to make a 2d6 roll. You're going to see where it's taking damage. Where's being damaged.
That would be a 10. A 6 and a
10.
4.
Okay, so you're burning hard. Now, those lasers, they've got nitrogen to cool them. And one of the nitrogen tanks bursts, and it blows out the lens of the laser. So all this nitrogen just vents off into space, and all these little fragments of lens go off into space.
So we're fertilizing spores in space. Good.
Yeah, it blows through so there's metal covers that go over it, but the venting has been so strong that it's blown out the metal covers. So one of your 2 lasers is gone. As you go along. Yep.
Add that to the list of repairs.
Yeah. So now you're down to just 1 laser. All right. Yeah. So you go along.
So we'll barrel roll if we need to attack anybody.
Yeah. Well, you have to do that anyway because it's only got a 30-degree field of movement. Remember. Okay.
Could have been worse.
Yep, it could have been worse. I'm just noting what happens. Okay, and then you continue on your way to Libra, and it's going to be another 2 days to get there. So as you approach, you start hearing more military chatter.
Do we want to call them and tell them we're coming in?
Yeah, you can do that. You've got laser comms that can direct just an individual, and you've got radio comms that can direct to everyone around. The laser comms are a bit more secure, but they require a bit more closeness, being a bit closer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so probably as you get within a day of being there would be the normal time. Unless you see, because you'll see anyone who's burning for you. It's not really possible to hide if anyone's looking. Like one guy went through and he did the calculate. For any realistic kind of drive, it's just such enormous amounts of energy. Like one guy went through and he calculated the power output of the Rocinante drive in the Expanse, and it turns out to be 98 terawatts. For comparison, the entire power output of the human race at the moment is 18 terawatts. So,
Oh wow.
That's it takes a lot of power to move things at ludicrous speed, as Dark Helmet would say.
Musk even now.
We've hit plaid.
It just takes a lot of energy, so it's not really possible to hide that, to have stealth. You could just have obscurity, that they just don't notice you amongst all the other stars. But once you get within a day or so of travel, then they'll definitely notice you, if they have any kind of technology at all. So as you approach, you could you see the radar scans. You can see there's several system defense boats that are in orbit around Libra, just in case anyone, so that they can monitor ships coming and going, and in case anyone wants to come and liberate it. But as far as you know, nobody's going to come and liberate Libra, unless the Commonwealth gets upset about the worlds harassing each other, which they normally don't, as long as it doesn't lead to genocide or something. If they have a little bit of fight amongst themselves, well, keeps them busy. Okay, so then you approach to within a day of it, and the comms light up, and it says this is Helderman ship defense boat. What's your business in the system?
This is the CV Heinlein. We are trying to put in for repairs.
Very well, he says. You can proceed down to the down port and put in.
Copy that, Control.
Okay, so you go in there and you settle into orbit. You need a nav roll and a piloting roll to settle into orbit.
Hey, Captain, ask them, do they have any good honky tonks?
You know what? I think we'll look at that. I think we'll see if there's an info kiosk at the port.
I'm sure they have a "You Are Here" map.
They seemed really busy. I didn't want to tie them up.
Probably a few tourist brochures for us too.
No doubt. Okay, so you need a nav and a pilot roll?
Yes.
Okay. Navigation 10.
Woohoo!
Pilot of 10.
Dice gods are
Excellent.
generous tonight.
Excellent.
Woohoo!
You settle down into a nice even orbit. Nice even orbit. Okay, and then entry down to the downport.
Okay.
Yeah, so give us a roll, sorry. So you need navigation and you need piloting.
Again? Okay.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
Oh, I didn't get a 10 this time. I got an 11.
Aww.
I got a 9.
9. Ooh.
Yeah, split the difference. You're still 20 together.
Hey guys,
Yep.
make sure your harnesses are on. I want to try something. I'm pretty sure it'll work. I saw it in a cartoon once.
So the angle that the navigator gave Benjo wasn't quite right. There's a little bit more heating of the fuselage than you're comfortable with, and the pilot says, but Benjo says it's not my fault. I can't accommodate, a hole being blown in the hull. So he blames somebody else.
No, nobody's complaining. Everything's very cool.
Because you're re-entering, with a hole in the hole. It's not good. So he comes down and he lands at the downport. This is not a large city. The whole planet had a pre-occupation population of 612,000. There may have been some deaths in the occupation, but on the other hand, they've presumably got more than just a few thousand troops on the planet. As you land in the city, you do see some buildings that have been reduced to rubble. All the downport is all cleared out. You don't see any other ships at the downport except for one system defense boat that is down on the ground, down, at the port. You get called in by the space traffic control. It's all very professional and properly done. And as you land, an obviously government vehicle comes rolling up, and it's all in black. And a guy comes out who's just some dude with a clipboard. Obviously, very, very obviously a bureaucrat, but he's a uniformed bureaucrat. He's not merely a bureaucrat wearing a suit and tie kind of thing.
Who gets to go meet him?
And he's wearing a respirator mask. And some soldiers get out with him, and they're uniformed as well. And they've got very neatly pressed uniforms, and they're carrying light assault rifles. And yeah, it's all very kind of dark empire kind of thing. And on the side of their arm, they just have a big J. That's probably for the Josephites, because there's apparently there's some dictator over at Holdeman who sees this world.
Okay.
All right, so they come up, and they radio for you to open up and lower down your ladder, and then they're going to come on board and inspect.
All right. Well, we'll let them on board.
Okay. So they come on board. Now, what are you guys doing? Just slumped around, lined up for inspection, prepared to repel boarders, or what?
I will sit quite calmly at my controls and do my best not to say anything stupid.
I will let them into most access areas that they deem that they need to go. I will make as much friendly small talk as is necessary to put them at ease.
I'm just going to stay at my couch until somebody tells me otherwise.
Actually, I'm going to amend my statement. I'm going to find Bubba first, and then I'm going to show him the hold in inglorious detail and everything he's probably forgotten because he's seen it a week ago. So I will keep Bubba busy.
What about the Girl Scouts?
What?
The Scouts who are women, what are those two doing? We haven't heard from them.
Oh. Tammy
and Sapphire.
Oh, yes,
Jana?
definitely. We need to have our...
I'm just fussing around the mechanicals and that, and I have my list and my little thing, so I look like I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay, good.
If they ask me questions on that, I'll answer them, but
All right.
I'm not going to volunteer information. But I mean, I'll just look like I'm busy and I'm doing my job.
I could be checking the electronics.
I've got a question for you, Kyle. Are their uniforms black?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
You're trying to figure out if they're bad guys or good guys.
I mean, generally, if you look like you're a working stiff, most of the time people will kind of overlook you. So that's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah. To be inconspicuous, yeah. Fair enough. All right. So they come on board and come stomping on. The official is very officious, and the soldiers are very grim-faced, as much as you can tell around the respirator. You yourself, as soon as the airlock opens, you realize how the atmosphere just drops straight away.
Yeah.
And you all but which one was it? All but Quida are wheezing. Quinda's like, oh, it's just a bit light, but yeah. All of you are wheezing and
welcome aboard the ship. Would you like to look at the cargo hold first?
And then over the next few hours or days, you might develop altitude sickness if you continue exposed to this. But yeah, so the officials wearing a mask too, and all the soldiers are as well. So he comes aboard and he says, all right, so what you doing on this world?
Oh, well, we're looking for some free trading work, but we've accumulated too much stuff we have to repair, and well, this friendly little place was the first planet that we could get to without risking hull integrity or anything up in the big deep. So we're just looking to get some ship repairs, sir.
I see. Well, we have to inspect the ship.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's it is what it is.
He says, "I'm not interested in your cargo. Nothing. Smugglers never keep their smuggled goods inside their cargo. It's always somewhere else." And so he goes up to the flight deck and the avionics array and so on, and he has the soldiers start pulling panels off, and they're not very gentle. So the mechanics and the electronics guys and that are a bit upset by this because they tend to just grab a crowbar and tear it off. They don't care.
I'm standing behind one of the soldiers. Yeah, so there's 4 acorn screws, or you could just tear it right off. Look at that. You just did that.
They just tear it apart. They don't care.
Now there's 2 release handles on that panel. I'll just take those from you.
Yeah, I'm reminded of so I sent Bill this video. I found a guy who'd made a coffee table which had this needlessly elaborate way of opening up. You would depress a little button, and then the eyes in this skull would drop down, and then you put your key in that, and then it would open a little lever at the bottom, and you'd pull that lever, and then the top opened up, and then there was a safe and there was a little compartment, and there was a safe to one side, and blah blah blah. There was all this, and it's like anyone with 5 minutes and an axe would have just through all the wood anyway.
It is straight up an item that would be described in AD&D as like intact. This table is worth 3,000 gold pieces. However,
after the players have been through it,
yeah.
So they treat your beloved starship just like that. They tear open all these panels, looking for contraband and that. And from the chit chat that you hear from them, they're obviously looking for weapons and explosives and currency. That seems to be their worry.
I'm just giving them the Kermit frown as they're moving through the bridge. You know.
Okay, so they go through the bridge, and then they go through the power deck and everything. And like I said, the cargo area, the only thing they don't open up is the cargo boxes.
That's piled with gold of unknown provenance.
Yeah. Which, yeah, since they're looking for currency as well, they might be interested. But no, they don't look at that.
I'll throw myself in front of the main reactor access. There's nothing in here. No, I don't. I do not. I specifically don't do anything dumb like that. But I do follow them around.
What do they think of the rifles we do have?
Okay, so the rifles you do have, they confiscate.
Are you going to return those?
Yeah. Do we get a chit or a receipt to get those back when we lift?
No.
So if we run into pirates in space, you get to come salvage it.
There's no piracy in Helderman space.
Yeah, right. Okay.
He says the dear leader keeps his people safe. There's no piracy in Helderman space.
Yeah, well, we'll be leaving Helderman space, and we'd like you could put them under security, but we need our equipment back. And a bolt-action rifle ain't going to do shit against that auto rifle.
I mean, can we?
He says if you have a problem with it, you can take it up with my superiors.
We will. Thank you. Private.
Well, he's an official, so he's like a bureaucrat.
Oh, private citizen then. Peon.
Awig says the dear leader's troops are the pirates. Of course, yeah. That's how it works.
Yes.
Well,
all right. So, all right. So they're going through the ship like that, and then outside across the base, you hear a sirens blaring. Ooh, 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 ooh. And the bureaucrat, who still hasn't introduced himself, looks at the soldiers and they shrug, and one of them says, "The ship would be good enough cover." And, woo, woo. And then from outside you hear this distant whoosh, and some rockets come and land around the air traffic control building, but none of them land accurately. Some unguided rockets. They explode.
Sounds like the Russians fired them.
Vehicles driving around and people running for cover and stuff. And then a bunch of soldiers jump into a vehicle and they drive off somewhere.
I've got the Kermit frown on. I just look at him and say, "Did we catch you at a bad time?"
No, he says. No, there's the occasional band of criminals, but they will be brought to heel.
Yes.
Justice prevails, he says.
I'm sure.
And he slams his fist on his chest, and when you justice, the way he says it, it must be some saying of the regime. Justice prevails.
Hardly.
Bubba raises his hand because he's got a question for the fancy guy in the black, the leading the group. He just stares at him with his hand raised.
I'm gonna quietly lower Bubba's hand and just pat Bubba on the back. Not here, not yet. There'll be time for questions after his presentation.
I just want to know if this is part of the protection they claim to give folks. That's all.
I'll get you a brochure. So, we done?
Yeah, so they go through and they tear the place apart, and not having found any contraband because they didn't bother looking in where it actually was, they then leave the ship. they issue with a certificate of inspection, and they leave the ship. Then they say, "Yep, you're now free to leave the ship." They take your firearms with them, and off they go.
Note to selves: the next guns we get, put them in the cargo containers.
Very good.
Yes.
Yeah, I seal the hatch behind them, just kind of wave through the port glass, and then scream "assholes" at the top of my lungs.
Yep.
Bubba starts singing Black Betty by Ramjet as they're driving off.
There you go.
Benjo says, well, on the good side, the panels are already open for the parts that we need to repair.
So how are we gonna breathe to get off the ship? Is this just gonna be like hold your breath and run?
No, you can breathe, but it's like being at 12,000 feet or something.
Well, we've got 4 vac suits, I think.
Well, vac suits might be an overreaction, but yeah, it's like being at altitude. So you'd be wheezing, and then after a few hours, you might get altitude sickness, which means you just feel nauseous and sleepy, basically.
Yeah.
So
when you're within your ship, you'll be fine because you can just pressurize it.
I have a traveler technology flavor background question for our illustrious referee. When you land on a fairly technological planet like this, is it possible, I mean, without getting all hacky dark web stuff that could get us arrested, is it possible to tie into local communication networks so we could place a local call to someone, say to buy respirators and have them delivered to the ship?
You can call traffic control and they'll put you through. Yeah.
Perfect. That's what we'll do.
Can they put us through to a pizza parlor and a malt shop too? That'd be great.
Even better.
Yeah. They do that because it's as part of the occupation. Helderman has brought across their fast food guys.
And so what is the one weird local topping that everybody here loves but will make us all recoil in horror on the pizza, Game Master?
Well, you don't know what it is, but it goes on bratwurst. So that seems to be yeah.
Okay.
Bratwurst is the place.
All right, I'll order up a few pies and whatever passes for the local industrial tailings, carbonated water, caramel, and sucralose flavoring in a 2-liter jug, and some respirators.
Yep.
Hey, girls gotta eat.
The
right?
critical stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The important stuff.
Hey, Captain, don't forget to order me that recliner.
The difference between needs and wants. Come on.
Well, let's make sure we find a really good furniture store. If I'm going to buy the damn thing and we're going to make it part of the ship's superstructure, I want to get a good one. So we're not just going to
skip IKEA.
Yeah, we're not buying flat pack. We're not buying from Big Lots. We're going to get something worth having.
And definitely stay away from Jerome's.
Yeah.
Let's go with Amish. It'll stand up to what we put it through.
Oh yeah.
That's a good idea.
And maybe they could sew my name on it so it'd say Bubba's Chair.
I will do everything within my power to make that happen. Stencil, embroidery, somehow we'll do that for you.
Spray paint. Hey, why not?
Silk screen.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, so we get our respirators. We gotta take stock. We gotta get this ship shape. I don't want to stay here in East Berlin any longer than you guys do, but
I was making a list while they were watching me, so I've got my list of things I need to do.
Oh, great. Get hop 2. I'm gonna try and.
Okay, so your deliveries come. Delivery from Maya of the respirators, and also delivery from Boris's bratwurst.
Awesome.
Of these
Okay.
gigantic bratwurst sausages with beer.
Y'all, this place ain't so bad. You see that bratwurst?
Well,
There's some sort of sauce on it that tastes vaguely like oysters, but you're not sure what it is.
I'll take it.
whatever. It's better. It's better than 150-year-old space MREs.
Yeah.
I thought we made jerky into some of that meat that we hunted on that last planet.
I think we ate all of that about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, probably.
Let's get this out on a tray. Nice.
I suppose it has been a couple of days.
Okay.
So gold selling first, and then repairs, or gold converting.
We're
Yeah.
going to find out the repair place. All right. So
I would suggest we find out how much repairs are going to cost us, and then figure out how much we need to get to liquidate.
And then make a list of priorities on what we have to get done, depending upon how much we can sell.
Right.
So Jaquel takes the delivery from the bratwurst guy, and she talks and she says, "Yeah, the ship maintenance place is apparently called Achtung Visitor. The original name was Fannie Mae, so but it's been renamed for the Ultimate, and yeah, they're not far from the starport."
All right. Anybody ready to see what passes for the local daylight around here?
Sure.
I'm sure we can find some sunglasses.
I'm
All right.
scared.
Let's stretch our legs. Good walk to help settle the dinner.
So are we going to be wearing black suits while we're at it?
Stretching our legs is better than our necks.
Well,
Why did we walk at when we got the car?
yeah, but the crane is gerbust.
Well, I figured we could just ramp the car out.
Maybe
it's
on a low.
tail sitter. It's a tail sitter. You would have to run the car out like Dukes of Hazzard, and
It's just not worth it. We can walk.
it's only 0.18 Gs. I mean, you possibly could land safely because the drop of 15 meters would be equivalent to a drop of like 2.5 meters. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be in a car. I wouldn't want to be in a vehicle when it dropped 3 meters, but that's up to me. You guys might be like the Dukes of Hazzard and not care.
Yeah, we're not ramping it out, Bubba.
Yeah, that's a hard pass. I'm the mechanic that has to fix it. No, you're not doing it, bud.
Well, I was concerned more about the medics who have to fix you guys afterwards.
Something about spinal fusion. I don't know.
Oh, come on. We'd be paying for that medic's trip to Fiji. Come on.
And that's what seatbelts are for.
Okay, so you step outside, and as well as being light air, it's frigging cold. You did notice as you were flying in, the planet isn't majority water. It does have lakes, but there's lots of floating ice packs and so on. This place is cold. It's like permanently around freezing. The sun is bright, but it's not warm. It's just bright and let you squint against it, but it's not warm at all. You see, the locals had some tans when the occasionally a soldier would sort of pull a respirator off to scratch or something like that, and you saw they had respirator tans. So yeah, you step on out. So you're heading to the ship maintenance guys.
Yes.
Okay.
I've given the list of the requirements to our captain so he can do all the negotiations.
Okay. Thank you.
I figure you're probably more adept at that kind of communication and negotiation. So,
Well, I mean, they may be an officer for some reason.
you got the command skill.
All right. So we'll head to this place. What is happening at Achtung Spacefarer or whatever it is?
Achtung Visitor.
Achtung Visitor.
Okay, so you go over there, and there's a little airport taxi service that'll take you there. You have to get a permit. It's not called a ticket; it's called a permit.
Permit.
It works exactly the same as a ticket, but they call it a permit. All right, so and you go burning off in the airport taxi, and they take you over to the ship maintenance place. They're doing work on bits that US ship guys. It must be from that ship defense boat that's on the ground, also at Downport. They were obviously working on parts that they dragged out of there. You go there and you see like the old sign. It was a faded old sign, Fannie Mae, and it's been painted over sloppily, perhaps even deliberately sloppily, as Achtung Visitor. And standing around having a cigarette outside the front office. None of the locals are wearing respirators. You can tell who the locals are. They're all tanned and they don't have respirators. And they're all skinny too because they're low G, except some who they're either really skinny or they're really fat, because they can be really fat in 0.1 AG.
Right.
You could be 500 pounds. It doesn't matter. You're only carrying 100.
Your CV system is like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. And there's this pretty chubby woman. She's wearing a blue boiler suit, and she just has an air of I'm the bitch in charge kind of thing. She looks a little bit snarly, and she's smoking a cigarette and standing out by the entrance.
Okay.
While everyone else is doing the work.
Good day. We have a ship that is in dire need of some assistance.
I saw it come in, she says.
Yeah, it's a bit of a beater.
And I saw those assholes get in and have a look.
Yeah.
They didn't wreck it any further, did they?
There's some panels that would prefer to be levered up with the proper handles or have the screws taken out of them that they took shortcuts on. But other than that,
yeah, they always do that, and then they wonder why their ships don't work.
Yeah. Well, be that as it may. So I've got this laundry list here that my lovely and talented engineers have put together, and
she takes the paper and looks at it while she takes another drawer and a cigarette, and she glances over it and she goes, looks at her fingers. That's going to be 155,000.
Okay.
And 185,000 if you want to replace that laser, which I assume you do.
Let's.
It'll probably take about 3 weeks.
Okay. Let's focus on the 100.
That laser lens will be the hardest one because these bastards are a bit paranoid about that sort of thing.
Yeah, I kind of thought that might be the case.
To get that, you might have to grease some palms. They're all law-abiding, which means they,
All right. Well, let's focus on the make fly without fall apart stuff first, and then the closer we get to the issue with a laser, we'll make a decision then. So you're talking about 155K for the whole kit and caboodle, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is that is that all just whatever bespoke is on the ship? Is there any parts unknown, any unobtainium stuff that they just don't make anymore?
No. I mean, we've been working on their ships, and they're backwards bastards.
Fair enough.
I mean,
Well,
that's why they invaded anyway.
Yeah. I'll take the appellation backwards, but I did know my mom. Wonderful, wonderful lady. My dad too. So 3 weeks you're talking about her being down. All right, let me see about selling off a little bit of cargo, and we'll come back to
What
you.
have you got?
Oh, well, we've got some.
They didn't look in your cargo, did they?
No,
They didn't
no.
do it. It's so stupid.
Sounds
I
like
think
a one-stop
so
shop.
stupid.
We've got some.
They're so stupid. They think they're smart.
We've got some refined
Nobody would be
elemental.
foolish enough nobody would be foolish enough to hide contraband in their actual cargo. We won't even bother looking. So all you do is hide contraband in your cargo, and you're good.
If it wasn't for the plastic hassle of dealing with them, I would just make this my one-stop planet to drop on and sell stuff. Be that as it may. So I'm, as far as what we're having, it's a refined metal element that is useful in many applications: insulation, electronics. Some even prefer to use it as currency.
Silver or gold or platinum, you mean?
You're definitely talking about the right neighborhood. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can take that as payment. I mean, nobody wants the Helderman script.
Yeah, I imagine not.
It's worth half as much every week.
Yeah.
I seem to imagine they can just print it.
So how do you trade on the base metals as far as value? I mean, are you taking, and this is Bill screwing this up, not his character, current going rates from Commonwealth? That's it. You taking Commonwealth going rates on it?
Well, there's the local going rates. I mean, yeah, we just use it as currency. We don't have a.
Okay, all right. So you're not shifting it up. Well, I mean, whatever you do with it.
Yeah.
We've got
people like to be paid in something of value, not
right on
useless script for the guys who might be leaving tomorrow.
Okay. Well, how much would this translate to in terms of metal weight? Let me ask you that.
Well, a few kilograms.
And asking Mr. Game Master, do we have that?
Yeah, you do.
All right. All right.
You've essentially got 4 cases.
Okay.
You would have to give up 1.
Okay. Well, we'll. What do I give you my keys and my phone number, and you call me when it's ready to pick up? How does that work?
Pretty much, yeah.
They'll send their own little.
Sounds like we're gonna have a good time for a couple of days here.
Yeah.
You could be on the ship while they're doing it. It's likely to be a bit noisy as they're going.
Sure.
But you could be on the ship while they're doing it.
So we're rock stars right now.
Yeah. So what are we going to do for 3 weeks?
I'll vote honky tonk.
You know what? I'm with Bubba. Honky tonk. Honky tonk. Anyone else? Crew? Honky tonk. Show of hands.
We're going.
Honky tonk.
Girl power.
Quida.
Bar crawl. Bar crawl. Bar crawl.
I'm even bringing my boots. I'll line dance.
Bar crawl in occupied, East Germany. Let's do this. It's great.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's Das Bierhaus. Yeah.
All right.
If there's dancing on this in this honky tonk, unlike the other honky tonk we was at, I may have to go back to the ship and put on my short shorts.
It's a little cold for that.
I don't think anyone wants to see those short shorts.
Would you like a dirtle too?
All right. Quida, you were kind of quiet there. Honky tonk. We voted honky tonk.
Okay. Sorry, I had a phone call I was dealing with.
Completely understandable. We're going honky tonking for at least one night. That leaves let's see,
Donk.
2
20. That's
weeks and 6 days.
Yeah, 20 more days to fill, but at least tonight, like I said, after a win, celebrate 24 hours, then back to work.
We'll vote on theme nights. How's that?
Yeah, really.
I love it.
Also,
See, you guys think I'm a hard ass and everything like that, but no, we're going to have fun. It'll be great.
We get 24 hours of freedom, and then what do we do with the other 20 days, though?
We work hard and we play hard.
I was about to say, what do we work on? I feel like
Honky tonk.
Yeah. It's like, what are we going to do? Help the mechanic we're paying?
Yeah, Mr. Game Master, is there anything that they don't do that we do need to do on the ship or can be doing on the ship?
No, they'll do it all. I mean, you can help them if you want, but they will do it all.
Then maybe we're on vacation. One thing I can tell you is,
Robert Phillips, don't say achy breaky heart, okay? Because
no, that's just wrong.
When I had enlisted in the army, and we were sitting in the army in the barbers at Kapuka, and he was shaving off all my hair, clipping it all off. Well, down to number 1, number 2, clipping it all off.
They left you with that much?
There was in the background playing Achy Breaky Heart. as my identity was being shaved away, my humanity. Don't break my heart, my achy breaky heart. Every time I hear that. And as we finished, I found out that we were being charged $5 for that haircut too.
Oh, yeah.
So, they charged us for it too. So I hear that
no,
song
we got plenty of songs we can go with.
Man. I've got PTSD from that haircut. It's.
If it makes you feel any better, when I had my 4 wisdom teeth ripped out, all they played was California Girls and like 2 other songs on the radio that sounded like it. So
you had music? I didn't have music at all when they did mine.
I would have taken silence. Now I can't hear that without like feeling the pop, pop, pop as they're shattering my wisdom teeth in my jaw.
Ugh.
Oh God.
Hey, at least your Novocaine didn't wear off in the middle of it.
Ooh.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
nasty.
We're losing viewers, guys. Come on, the dental horrors, man.
Anyway.
So I'm going. We could do some role playing, creating an imaginary world inside an imaginary world. Yeah. Are there any local toy stockists we can buy a copy of Dungeons and Dragons at, Game Master, and start a D&D campaign in the middle of your Traveler campaign?
That'd be awesome.
I'm sure we can find a hobby store somewhere.
How about a game of Star Frontiers?
This would be where I would release like 100,000 ping pong balls over and say, he said today's secret words.
It's probably going to be like Car Wars or Morgborg or something.
Now, what we do is
you go and do some line dancing at Das Libra House.
And it's a cross with Coyote Ugly, so we're dancing on the bar.
Oh.
All right. Okay, and we'll leave.
Bubba's all about that.
I thought the campaign was going to, well, not the campaign. I thought the season was going to end with like a dramatic standoff or some drama and bloodshed, but instead it ends with line dancing at dusk.
Oh, the bloodshed will come later.
And I bet there's an electronic bowl and we have to test our metal.
Hey,
But we can try out all kinds of drinks while we're line dancing.
some
Line
days
dancing
Strawberry
at
margaritas?
Das Libra House.
Yes.
The achy breaky heart.
No, that's the next theme night. That's Margaritaville.
Oh God.
some days you get David Drake, some days you get Douglas Adams, and I think we got the latter.
Oh,
That's not a
All right,
complaint.
guys. So that's the game for today. I will be off for 2 weeks because I've got the kids' school holidays. So I'll be off for 2 weeks, but we will restart after then, which will be, what date will that be?
let's see.
October
8.
22nd and
5.
29th. October 5 for you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, October 5 for us. So,
Oh,
Very good.
just a heads up. The end of October, I am doing a conference. I don't know if that'll conflict. I doubt it, but still.
That's all
All
right. People come and go. They're absent because they're sick or busy or can't be bothered or whatever. That's fine. And they come back.
we will burn
Posted,
that. person.
added to my computer.
Oh yeah. Also in October, I've been known to dress up and go door to door asking people for candy.
Not at Halloween, folks. He just like picks a day in October and does it
Every day but Halloween.
every day. Yeah, do it every day but Halloween.
By
Halloween.
special request,
Especially the ones that do not have the lights on, huh?
by
Well,
special
that's
request,
okay.
Putting on the doors
Sapphire?
for the ones that don't have lights on until they say what and come to the door.
Yes.
All right, so now we've segued nicely into by special request of Sapphire. So the viewers won't know, but quite often we'll, after we stop streaming, we'll have a little chit chat about this and that. Sometimes about the game, sometimes about other things, and that's the after party. So, and Sapphire said we should broadcast that. So we'll have, say, half an hour or something of the after party.
Yeah. I mean, people want to know what we talk about. Hey, it's fun.
I'll take it.
I'm basically the same.
Well, before we start the after party, though, I do want to take a hot minute because there's some folks around here who contribute to the ongoing life support of this show, and I always like to pause and thank them. So it is with immeasurable gratitude that I say thank you to Joshua Garlock, Lord Corion, Ricky Maru, Mobius, Kevin Reynolds, Doomsword Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damien 247, James F. Keck, William Smith, the Dungeon Minister. We're big Dungeon Minister fans around here. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel, by the way. Manny Wall, where are you? We miss you, brother. Come on back and say hi. Mark Corey, Kevin Wood, Todd Sharp, the increasingly frightening named Carnivore Farmer, Rob, Jeremy Rule, Bo Ganora, Mikey Mank, Sky Hernstrom, who's a hell of a writer. You should buy and read his books. Pete Sullivan and the DM's Council. We greatly thank them from the bottom of our hearts around here at the Delvers Dungeon. You guys are aces. And if this is your first time stopping by and you've been wondering, what is all this noise? 5 nights a week, classic role-playing game nonsense that goes on. Please, if you like what you see, click that subscription button and click that bell icon to get your notifications. Leave a comment below and tell us what you liked and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you know what to do, and you can ask us to make things a little bit better. So let's roll into After Party, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I probably have got about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll let you kids ramble on, but please. The floor is anyone's.
Yeah, really, kids, come on. We're
What do
all
you
kind
do?
of peers here.
What do you do besides gaming?
Well, we got a Ren Fair coming up here.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
we get to dress up as pirates.
Doing the LARP thing.
Space
No.
Oh, no, we get to dress up medieval Saturday because we're in a medieval group. So
Yes. I actually put on armor and fight with swords.
Yes, he puts on armor and fights with swords, and I
So-
cheer.
Are you SCA then?
Negative. Adrian Empire.
Ah, okay. I'm a Hema guy. So
Okay.
I have a quandary for the group here.
Okay.
So we're going. One of my groups in that the D&D type thing. We are doing Gary Con 2023 kind of offsite with their group, and I don't know necessarily if I should bring up, are we going to do LARP or just kind of fun type of things, our normal things? So, I mean, do I even bring it up or do I just, are we going to go as is type thing? Because we are going in character. So if our characters are at a pub, we are being in character at a pub.
Then technically that is a LARP.
Okay.
LARP is fun.
I'm a wizard, so I can do robes, but I don't know if I want to bring that up in the group or not before, because of course we have plenty of time to plan it.
Right.
So
You have a thyroid problem. You're a hairy wizard.
no, I'm not doing my Slytherin on it. Sorry.
I'm sorry, you're going to slither where? We have to
Pottermore said I'm a Slytherin, so hey.
Same. I'm
If I
still
was
salty.
involved in a LARP that was at a bar and I was a wizard, I'd be throwing the beanbag that had charm on it at all the waitresses going by. Are you charmed yet? Did you make your save? Dang it. Are you charmed yet?
See, Todd and I are from the South. Cornhole is the same thing as magic missile to us.
Oh.
Fireball, do you ask the size of the room before you cast it?
Fireball is what's clutched in the fist of the guy lying face down in the driveway.
No, the cantrip, magic missile is your friend.
Yes.
Oh yes, that I love.
No, magic
Fireball
missile is a
my
pistol.
favorite.
Robert Phillips, Ice Pirate. I love Ice Pirates. That is a
Oh yes.
fun, dumb movie. I love Ice Pirates.
Yep. I'm right
Well,
with you.
there's also Space Trucker.
Space Truckers is good.
And,
Love Space Trucker.
Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper, and he had the ship with and it was transporting hogs, but the hogs were grown in a box. And they were square hogs. It was just like your square meal.
Oh.
In a box. And he was going,
Okay, you thought veal was
throwing
bad.
grain. Just throwing grain into the trough.
So
That's a ruthless far future.
thoughts
Was
on
it the movie Dark Star that the only intelligent life the people had found was a beach ball with feet?
Yes. It
Yeah.
was a beach ball with little claw feet. It was written by Dan O'Bannon, who also wrote Alien. And there's more than a little bit of similarity between Dark Star and Alien, if you squint your eyes real hard. But yeah, Dark Star.
I still wonder how they got Battle from the Sky. Is it Battle from the Stars that has this spaceship that looks like a woman?
Battle Beyond the
Beyond the
Stars.
Stars.
Yes. How did they get that through?
I will brook no ill said about Battle Beyond the Stars. Battle Beyond the Stars is a great film. And
With
I
John
will
Travolta.
I mean, Little House on the Prairie, you have him in there, but still.
I mean, it's got John Saxon. It's got the lovely Sybil Danning. It's got
So there's your Dark Star with
Yep.
Dan O'Bannon.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going with that,
that's their little set. Just crammed it together with their lights and switches.
Yeah.
thoughts on the original Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy adaptation.
The BBC one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I don't recall it, so I couldn't say.
it's a little uneven. It's not bad.
I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
You got the references. It's as far as a movie adaptation, It's not the worst and it's not the best.
Oh, I'm thinking of the one that was on broadcast on the BBC in like the late 70s or early 80s.
Yeah, that's the one I know of. I
Yeah.
remember seeing that as a kid.
I mean, Battlefield Earth was horrific as far as adaptation from the books, but
yeah, but that's John Travolta.
John Travolta.
Have y'all ever read Robert Himmler?
Heimlin.
Starship Troopers? Heimlin,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen Starship Troopers. I haven't read it.
I wrote a book report on it in 8th grade.
The book and the movie, the only similarities are Earth versus bugs, period.
Yep.
And Johnny Rico.
Yep.
Everything else was different.
Okay.
So.
Yeah,
And
the movie was just Paul Verhoeven doing his parody thing, just the same way he did RoboCop and stuff like that. He just parodies aspects of American culture. The book was very much American culture, but it wasn't with everything turned up to 11 like that. Like Johnny Rico was actually like he was a Filipino background.
Yeah.
There was a global empire and stuff, but yeah, the Starship Troop, it was a bit more thought out. It wasn't like we land the drop pods and everyone will go running out. They had spacesuits they had drop pods around them, like it was an ablative thing, and they just land. They would like jump out of a spacecraft and land basically in battle mechs. They
were the original Space Marines from Warhammer 40,000.
If I remember, didn't they make a sequel to that was even worse?
Yes, they did.
Yes, and they've done CGI cartoon sequels as well.
Oh, they made a whole cartoon series.
There was actually a third movie, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Neil Patrick Harris in increasingly embarrassing films. But I will tell you this. I gotta pull a little sci-fi geek rank on you. It was actually Edward Emschuler Doc Smith who came up with powered spacesuits for combat in 46.
Yeah. Part of the Lensman series.
Are you doing Asimov here?
It was E. Doc Smith who
Asimov, yes.
Huh? No.
I thought that was one of his pen names. I thought that was his pen name.
Nope. E. Doc Smith was his was a completely separate person.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Doc Smith.
My dad was wrong then.
Doc Smith did Lensman, and you had it was a portable supercomputer, force field projector, anti-gravity belt, weapons, everything was in this device called the lens, and it was attuned to its wearer. You became a lensman of the Interplanetary Patrol.
I remember that. I read that when I was like 7 or something, so it's been a while, but yeah.
Good old Doc Smith.
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, good old Doc. Ain't he the one that built the DeLorean time machine and then kidnapped Michael J. Fox?
Sure.
Wrong Doc.
Absolutely. 100%, Todd. You got
there was
right.
like the old sci-fi magazines too. Wasn't there a whole lot of, they do the short stories in those? Yeah,
the golden era of science fiction, when you talk about Doc Smith, Jack Williamson, Asimov, Bradbury. I mean, there is
McCaffrey,
yes-ish. I think she's a little bit newer. I think she started hitting in the 60s, but still a tremendously influential and talented science fiction author.
I think wasn't the magazine from like the 40s to like the 70s or so?
It depends on which magazine, because there was Analog, there were just a lot of interesting ones, but there was Analog was one of them. And to kind of loop this back around into the main thing that we do here, there is an issue, I think it's of Analog magazine, that has a letter by Gary Gygax in it. It is a 1960s issue of Analog or Astounding Science Fiction or something that Gary wrote a letter in, and he was complaining about the decline in quality of the writing. I know Gary writing
Even
to
as a young man, he was a grumpy old man.
Exactly. Gary was a grumpy old grog nerd when he was in his late 20s. You gotta love it.
You know,
Well, I know a lot of the time.
There's a sci-fi book that it's also written by Robert Heinlein that I would love to get and read one of these days, and it's A Stranger in a Strange Land, which is kind of ironic that it was a sci-fi book or a genre, but it was picked up by the hippies of the 60s, and that it kind of became their Bible, so to speak.
That was a good piece. That I have read.
Yeah, Stranger is a heck of a read.
Yeah.
I will say I'm not proud of this fact. I've mentioned this before. I think it's the idea of destroying a book. Any book is bad. I don't believe in destroying a book, burning a book, tearing a book up, throw it. I don't care what book it is, and I must confess that one of the books that I've ever read that I felt deserved that fate, and I carried it out, was a book by Ben Bova called Peacekeepers. Oh, it was terrible. And I was so disgusted when I was done reading it that I had spent $4.99 on a paperback, that I had ground through it over the course of like a week and read the damn thing. It was Peacekeepers. And when I was done, I took it in the kitchen of my parents' house and threw it in the trash in disgust. Don't ever read Peacekeepers by Ben Bova. It's not shocking. It's not grotesque. It's not horrifying. It doesn't, like, you open page one. Yeah. This is why the German government in the 1930s was the best. It doesn't do anything that it just sucks. And what pissed me off so bad about it when I was a kid was I was like 18 or 19 when I read it. I could have written a better science fiction book. Ben Bova, who writes good science fiction, got paid. I gave Ben Bova my money to give me back garbage.
Okay, Mission Earth Ecology. Just to fill the pages, like book 3 and 4 was so detailed on just boring things.
Well,
I just had to force myself through it.
Well,
but he was looking to make a decology, so he was going to fill those pages with stuff.
Yeah.
But
have y'all ever heard of Dave Wolverton?
The name sounds familiar, but I can't say as I've read anything from him, Todd.
I have one book by him that's called Path of the Hero, and it's kind of a fantasy story, but the setting is 100% sci-fi, and it is awesome. I cannot recommend it enough. Now, it is no Walking Drum, which is my all-time favorite book of all time ever, but it is. You definitely want to pick it up.
Yeah, Walking Drum is one of those books I think Kyle should absolutely read, because he sent me a book, Falcon's Quest. Was that what it was called, Kyle? Or did he dip out? No, he's still there. I just can't hear him.
So, what do we think of Cudgel Saga?
Oh, it's good. It's good. Oh, there he is. He's back. Yeah, Cudgel Saga's good stuff too. But yeah, just in generally speaking, Jack Vance's Dying Earth stuff is so, and I mean this in a positive way, right? I am not throwing this out as any kind of damning with faint praise. It's so florid. It is so it is so flowery. It's so good to read. It's like walking through a massive, well-built house that's got all these little side rooms and hallways that you can just find yourself lost in for an hour and enjoy it.
I read.
Well, Bill was ragging on Ben Bovett before. And speaking of side rooms, he read a book I enjoyed called Sam Gunn Unlimited. And it was written in an odd way that, like, it was all stories about Sam Gunn, but told by different people. Some people who loved him, some people who hated him. It was like a series of stories. And the intro says, persons attempting to find a motive in this narrative will be prosecuted. Persons attempting to find a moral in it will be banished. Persons attempting to find a plot in it will be shot by order of the author. And it was just a blurb saying, Sam Gunn is the 21st century's greatest entrepreneur and its most hated public figure. Visionary, scoundrel, lover, liar. He is small in stature, but larger than life. And his story is that of space exploration itself. He will make and lose fortunes from Earth to the asteroid belt, one step ahead of his creditors, one step behind his grand dreams. Through all his varied careers, Sam's goal will always be the same: to go where no one had ever gone before and come back with a profit. Here is the magnificent tale of his amazing life, an adventure told by the men and women who loved or hated him, but could never forget him as he carved out man's destiny among the stars. And then a bad review of it is, supposedly most of the stories were written in the 80s, but it felt more like the 50s or 70s. The listening to an interview method of telling the story got old very quickly, as did the character of Sam Gunn. The only good point was that for a book with so many sexual references, the author never actually wrote a sex scene. So at least we are saved from having to read that.
Move.
I note that most of the stories were originally published in a magazine where he was the editor.
Brutal.
You know, I wonder if he played Classic Traveler.
That almost might be a attraction.
And one of us. One of us. One of us. Wave of Mutilation. I honestly, Donaldson has been on my, I should read this guy one day, but I've never read anything. I'll throw this one out to the group. Panel of all-star fans of fantasy and science fiction. Stephen Donaldson, any of you guys?
You'd have to name a book.
I probably have, but I can't remember at this point.
Yeah, it's not ringing a bell here.
Donaldson wrote the Thomas Covenant, the Unbeliever series.
Oh,
God, I've heard of that.
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
that was so bleak. That was so bleak.
Yeah, they're not happy stories.
He's a leper or some shit, and
yeah, he's dying of leprosy, and he on his deathbed he kind of awakens in the fantasy world. I know this much about it. He awakens in the fantasy world, and he like, they're like, we've summoned you. You know, you've come, you're the hero. And there's these weird intercrossing, but his initial thought is that he's either dead or dying. And all this is just his brain falling apart inside of his skull. And he's like, since this is a dream, I can do anything that I want and it doesn't matter. So he does one of the worst things imaginable you can to another person.
Yeah.
In front of everybody. And they're like, but you're our hero. You're our
So Alanis Morissette.
So he's he spends the first
with lucid dreaming.
he spends the first, I'm trying to remember, he spends the first book denying that it's all real, and so they're doing awful things. And then when he admits that it's all real, he says, okay, it's real, but I'm not a hero. I'm not the one who's going to save you all. And then he says, okay, it's real, and I am the hero. I'm the one who's supposed to save you all, but I can't. I'm just not good enough because of all the awful things I did before. And it's like 3 books. Those are the 3 things: denial of existence. Then there's denial of role in existence, and then there's rejecting the call to action.
So
he does
AA goes into RPG.
And it's just so painful, and you just want to kill him. But it's one of those ones where it's it's annoying you, but you have to keep fucking reading. You know,
and that's why I
got
to do it.
There's a number of shows on Netflix like that. What was it? The Resident Evil and it kept annoying me. The Resident Evil TV show kept annoying me, but I had to keep watching to finish it. Going, surely it can't be this bad all the way down. You know, maybe if I keep digging through the rotten bits of the apple, there'll be a good bit, and there just wasn't. You know.
Now you're making my watching the hour and a half or whatever of Turbo Kid not feel so bad because it was only one movie.
In the 90s, when I stumbled upon Mystery Science Theater 3000, I felt like finally there's people who understand what it is to sit through terrible science fiction movies.
Oh, I loved it. Whenever I listen to Night of the Living Dead, I hear Telegram through my head.
Yeah, but yeah, Donaldson is on my list of stuff to read. Thank you, Wave of Mutilation. You may have just made read the 2023 reading list right there. That may go at the front of the line because 2023 is it's now going to be some Stephen Dar Donaldson, and of course my annual reread of Lord of the Rings. And I've been thinking Aurora Nutshell Gulag was telling me Glenn Cook's The Black Company might be up my alley.
So good. Do it.
Okay, great. Well, there we go. I have my.
I'm rereading Dune because I watched the movie again, so that's on my list. But kind of a plug, old time first RPGs and that for computers and that with networks is the Moos, the Muds, and the Mushes. We took a lot of the books and we converted them into games.
Ooh, those words take me back. Doors. Did you do Doors on BBS networks?
Yes, I did.
That's back in the day there, I tell you what.
And the school networks and that I hacked into Milwaukee public school systems so that I was able to go there too.
You know, there is one book that it's actually a Star Wars book, but don't stone me. It is very, very, very good. It's called Death Troopers, and it is a Han Solo Chewbacca kind of adventure, but it is incredibly dark and incredibly scary. It is scary like Hounds of the Baskerville was scary.
Nice.
Okay.
I think with stuff like that, with the big, huge, expansive, multi-universe, guy came in and hammered this out in like 6 days, and we paid him $900, and you'll never see his name on another book ever again. Stuff. I think you can find some real gems in there. Like there is, and I recommend this to anybody who is a fan of Star Trek, by which I mean proper Star Trek.
The next gen.
And it is, don't make me hit you. It is called the Kobayashi Maru. And due to a shuttle malfunction, it was Kirk, McCoy, Scotty. No, I can't. No, McCoy's not there. It's Kirk, Scotty, Sulu, and Chekhov are adrift in a shuttle, and they all relate.
Spock's not there?
How they went through the Kobayashi Maru, and it's the actual story of how Kirk beat the Kobayashi Maru. And it's a Star Trek book. I mean, it's one of thousands of Star Trek books, but it's the only one I have, and it is a good, fun read. So if you ever want to know exactly how Kirk did the whole, I reprogrammed the simulation, look for the Kobayashi Maru. It is worth a read. So I don't think you should ever say, well, it's such and such a book, but I like it. I mean, like what you like, enjoy what you enjoy.
Bill.
Yes.
And this is actually for everybody who is here and who rereads the Lord of the Rings annually, like I do, which you do too. So yay, I don't feel as big of a nerd.
I do too.
Do you actually sit and enjoy the poetry, or are you at the point where you skip it?
No, I am at the point where I enjoy it, because when I was a kid, I would skip it all the time.
Same.
Yeah.
See, when I was a kid, and even now, because every year I have to reread The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings and The Walking Drum. And every time it comes to one of the songs that they sing, it's a contest to me. I try to figure out what beat and what melody the song is supposed to go to.
Interesting.
Like, is it row, row, row your boat? Is it, because he had to have some type of common melody that he used for some of those songs.
I can tell you what a Arundel was, because I've recited that one enough times. I have that one memorized. God, now I'm stuck singing it. So no, I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
It's been enough time that's passed that I can reread it without remembering too much. So I have to wait about 30 to 35 years before I can reread a book.
Since y'all brought up Lord of the Rings, who do y'all think Tom Bombadil is?
I mean, I know who Tom Bombadil is, but I mean, as far as who I think he is in the lore, I haven't the faintest idea.
I mean, in some ways, he's an allegory for Tolkien, but as far as the lore goes, he's no different. He's no different than Ungoliant, who was there before the world was the world. And who only really took form in the darkness when the world took form. At least that's what the Silmarillion says. So I would take Tom Bombadil as a counterpart to Ungoliant.
That's got to be kind of distressing. You appear before anything else, and what's there with you? A house spider.
The size of a barn? Yep.
The size of a barn.
Do we want to broach the new series?
Well, I did put up
that could be a show all by
if you do, I'm gonna dip because I haven't seen it yet.
I did put up a capsule review of episode 4 if anyone wants to go to my YouTube channel and check it out. It's not very long. It's only about 20 seconds. Let me pull it up for you guys.
What's it say? This is shit.
Oh no. Well, that would be bad of me. Here, let me let's see. Let me see if I can do this. No spoilers. It's spoiler free. You don't have to leave. Let me see here. I'm
trusting you just as once, Bill.
Share screen. Share screen. Screen 2. Share. Here we go. Oops. Hey, hang on a second. Hang on. I'm going to unmute that, and let's see if I reload the page. There we go. Here we go. Okay. Oh, there's no audio playing.
It's 20 seconds, Bill. Just repeat your rant.
Yeah, basically, I just said,
I'm sure you could do a synopsis.
Yeah. Oh, look, my Amazon package today came in Rings of Power packaging. Let's just get that out. And we'll just put this right where it belongs.
Trash can.
That is my capsule summary of the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. I
rifle back and forth between Game of Thrones and House of Dragon and Lord of the Rings. So
I'm so afraid it's going to be bad. That's my thing.
Oh, don't be afraid. No.
Well, just know they have taken so much pain in assuring people that it is not based on Tolkien's work. It is their interpretation, but it's not based on his work.
And they are very thorough in their character development.
Then I will not bother watching it.
I'm just watching it for the
No,
fun.
you should watch it, but understand you're going to know all about the characters.
All right, I'm out, boys and girls.
Yeah, I got a dip too, guys. So I think we're pretty much wrapped up, since unfortunately none of you guys can
Yes.
end the stream. But it's been a lot of fun chatting with you guys, and I do want to give a shout out to Wave of Mutilation, because Philip K. Dick is in fact the man, and he was an amazing writer. May he rest in crazy person's heaven forever. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the after party. I hope everybody enjoyed it, and the Traveler session tonight. What we'll do next week, anybody's guess. We may just have a Nerd Council of Doom. I don't know. We'll have to see. Peace out.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, boys and girls.
Bye.
Night.